Hi, welcome to Foodie. Today we're going to make some steak medallions with a kind of a wine gravy. It's going to be very flavorful gravy sauce on top of it. Somewhat like a steak Diane, but not quite as fancy. And this is going to be pretty quick, so I'm using a lot of little shortcuts, but still going to taste fantastic because we're going to use a great cut of meat. So to get started, the first thing I have here is 2 big tablespoons of butter in a saucepan. So we're going to make the gravy first, then we can just let it stay on the warm burner while we do the steaks. As the butter starts to melt, I've got 1 cup of sliced mushrooms. We're going to stir this up, coat all the mushrooms good with the butter, and then cook these until the mushrooms get a little soft and tender. So we're going to do this for maybe 1 or 2 minutes. All right, it's been about a minute or so. I'm not too worried about the mushrooms because we're going to put it on the back burner on the low heat, so it'll be constantly cooking until we're ready to eat. I wanted to tell you the basis of this idea comes from a cookbook for 2 that I got when I first moved to Houston from Ohio, and that was back in 1978. I think my mom may have given it to me to help me as I moved out on my own. And I kind of was going through it the other day and I saw something marked good on here. So I must have liked it. I looked at it. Looks like there could have been some improvements. So I'm using that as a basis, and I'm going to flavor this sauce up a lot. I got about a teaspoon of fresh black peppercorn, fresh ground. Put that in there. And here comes some of the quick ideas. Rather than fresh garlic, I'm just going to use a half a teaspoon of the minced jar garlic. I've got about a teaspoon of dried onion. We'll put about a 1/4 cup of red wine. Just whatever you happen to have. Cabernet would probably be best. And to make it a little bit more like a steak Diane sauce, I'm going to put in a squirt of maybe a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I have some dried parsley, maybe a half a teaspoon, and a half a teaspoon of some celery flakes. Let's give this a stir. Let's put in about a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Okay, so here's the trick I like to use, especially if you like, a lot of gravy. You can find this at any grocery store. Oh, see if I can pronounce this right. Tony's Sachet's instant roux mix. It's made more for making gumbo and things like that. But it works fantastic for gravy as well. And so to make that, I've got a half a cup of the Tony's mix. And then I'm going to pour in 1 cup of water, cool water. And actually the great thing about that roux mix is, you never get lumps. That stuff just dissolves instantly. All right, we'll stir this up. And another good thing about that is if you don't particularly like the consistency of your gravy, all you need to do is add a little bit more of the roux mix or add a little bit more water. In my case here, this is pretty thick, so I'm going to add maybe another half a cup of water. This will thicken as you cook it because there is flour in there. Now this looks pretty dark to me, so I'm going to leave it. Another trick I like to use a lot if you really like the really dark brown gravy, this kitchen bouquet is excellent. Let's go ahead and just add some. It doesn't take too much, maybe a half a teaspoon. And I don't know if it adds any flavor or not, but it definitely makes it a really nice dark brown gravy. I think there's actually maybe beets inside there. Let me taste it, see if we need to put any salt in there. That's pretty good. I may add a little bit of salt. All right, so let's put this on the back burner. And we'll just let that stay on warm. I'm starting off here with a frying pan with a tablespoon of butter. I think that's gonna be enough butter. We're gonna have some mashed cauliflower with this, so that's what's on that back burner over there. Okay, my pan's heated up pretty good. And when I'm using tenderloin, and you want it, I see how nice and marbled that is. Really looks really good. That's gonna be very tender. It's one tenderloin. It's probably about 6 or 8 ounces. And I've sliced it about a 1/4 inch thick. So I'm just gonna lay these all in here. You can cook these, you know, to the doneness that you like. Of course, I like things pretty rare, but Catherine doesn't, so we're just gonna, I'll sacrifice today. We'll just cook these a nice medium, which will only be, you know, maybe a minute on each side or 2 minutes. We can go ahead and put some salt on these. All right, we'll flip these over. If you don't want to use tenderloin, you can use a sirloin or a hanger steak, I guess they call it. You just might want to pound it a little bit thinner or put on some meat tenderizer. All right, I'll go ahead and serve one dish of this. I'll pull mine out first. Okay, here's my steak. I'll put a little bit of gravy on top. Make sure I get plenty of mushrooms. I'll add my little side of mashed cauliflower. You could even put that gravy on top of that if you wanted to. Okay, let's take a little taste. I'll get a little small piece with I'll get a mushroom. Wow, really good. Of course, the steak makes it really good. I would definitely recommend using tenderloin.
Good.
Good. I guess I'll call this steak medallions with a wine gravy, parentheses, steak Diane. But if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to Foodie right over there. And thank you for watching.